This might be a dumb first question. Who is Texas Jack?
Texas Jack Omohundro is who the store is named after, but it's also named after my father. That was his alias in the organization Single Action Shooting Society, which is a shooting sport where people dress up like cowboys and shoot single actions, and they take on an alias. And that was my dad's alias, and it's a historical figure that he really respects. He was with Buffalo Bill and his Wild West show, so he was a scout and all sorts of things.
Yep.
Now, Bryce, take a moment for our Canadian listeners. Describe this store. When we walked in, we're like, whoa, but you tell us, what is this store all about?
All right, this store is all about any and all things Wild West. You're standing in a converted wagon repair shop from the late 1800s. We've done a lot of work here, but you see the ceiling beams, especially the radio audience at home. You can see those ceiling beams.
Yeah.
Those are the authentic, actual ones from late 1800s. This was also one of the first gas stations out in this county, and there's a pipe out front where you can see the gas used to come out of. You might trip over it. Yep. And we got anything like modern West. We call it soft West, but we cater mainly to hard West. Old cowboy stuff.
That's one of the things that we've noticed a lot, even while we've been in Fredericksburg, even while we were in San Antonio, is, one of the best descriptions I've heard, and I think, Eva, you might have said it, they never tear any buildings down. They are always taking buildings and reusing them, repurposing them, doing new stuff with them. Is that something that the town, for example, will, for lack of a better term, incentivize a business owner to do, or does it just kind of happen organically?
Yes. Well, Texans are very proud, so I think that has a lot to do with it and preserving our history. But Fredericksburg in particular is very sensitive to preserving the historical value of the town. For instance, when we moved into this building in 1995, it was almost a tear-down structure, and we brought it back to life under Fredericksburg's very strict historical standards. We can only have certain signs on our building, on the facade, and they're very strict about how we do the outside of the building. So, they are very much about the aesthetic here. And, when people visit this town, they're looking for that. They want the ambiance of history, the German heritage here, the Western heritage here, and cowboy culture, too. So
now, Bryce, do you supply props for movies? And yes.
Absolutely. I guess a really early Texas Jack Cimarron story. You can tell it better than me, honey.
Go ahead, honey.
It was for a TV movie called Texas, and the prop master was looking for, was it the Patterson, I believe?
Yep.
They were looking for Pattersons for the movie, and they just happened to find our store. They needed like 25. And they're like, we've just been looking for them everywhere. We have one, and we've had to pass it around to all the actors. Do you know where we could find any? And my mom walks in the back, and she says, well, I don't have 25. I have 23 if you need them.
Wow.
So that's, we started in the beginning with Back to the Future 3 and Lonesome Dove in the late 80s, and then that's what we provided guns for, because our gun brand is Cimarron. And then most recently, Bryce and I personally gave guns to the Magnificent Seven, the remake.
Hey.
We got to meet Denzel Washington and Chris Pratt when they were gun training on their first day.
Cool.
That was really cool.
It was really cool.
Yeah, 2 years ago at SHOT Show, the props master, Gary Tours, comes up to us and he says, Hollywood is tapped out of Old West guns right now. They're making the Hateful Eight, the Ridiculous Six. Can we buy guns from you directly? We were like, yeah, sure. And so, we were living in Los Angeles at the time. They called us up, and we actually went right down the street from our house, met up with them. Him and Thel Reed, legendary fast draw artist and gun trainer. And luckily, I wasn't too starstruck that day. I was playing it pretty cool, but then we got around the corner, and then Denzel Washington and Chris Pratt were there, and the horse from the Lone Ranger?
Yes, that was painted black. I went to pet him, and they were like, "Don't touch him; it'll come off on your hands."
Yep. Yeah. So it's a pleasure and a privilege working here.
All right, listen, before we leave here, Jamie, Bryce, either one can answer this. What do Neil and I have to see? What's your favorite thing or picture or object or piece of clothing in here that has a story, maybe?
Oh God, that's
put you on
a
the spot.
hard question, Bryce.
This place is dense. Oh my gosh. This cash register right here. Yeah. It's a pretty cool cash register. It's the real deal. It's really old. It's actually probably still workable. We can go and ding on it and crank it and get her working and stuff, but it doesn't tie into our POS system, so, we lay off of it. But yeah, this thing's authentic.
Where'd you get it from?
Oh man, just estate sales. We got a guy that works here. His name is Charles Hudson, and you could say he's a shopaholic, but he just goes to estate sales and he has the gift, and he just comes with stuff every week that's just rare finds. He gets a great deal. He goes, what's his saying?
What a deal.
What a deal. What a deal. So yeah, this is one of Charles's finds. He's a good guy to know.